Hi, everyone. Richard here from Two to Lead, a digital workplace consultant. I want to talk about one of the sessions that we did at the Microsoft 365 Community Conference in Orlando. I got the privilege of speaking on accessibility matters, designing inclusive digital workplaces. We're going to touch on some of the highlights now of what that was. So essentially, why does accessibility matter? In 2024, Microsoft did a research study that found some very powerful statistics around accessibility. The first one we can see here is 1 in 5 people identify as neurodivergent. This describes people who have different ways in thinking, learning, and processing the world around us. So think people with autism, ADHD, OCD, dyslexia, and even Tourette's. Approximately from that, there's 16% of the world's population that has a disability. That's over 1 billion people in this world have disabilities. And 3 in 4, 75% of those disabilities are non-apparent. So just don't judge a book by the cover. You don't know what someone's struggling with or going through. And then one of the more sobering stats they shared was 83% of us will experience some sort of disability while we're in our working age. And dare I say, 100% of us will experience it at some point in our lives, be it through a family member or even a friend. So always think about that user, have empathy, and that's why accessibility matters, because disability impacts almost everyone around us, some way, shape, or form. In the session, we talked about different ways that we can make our intranets, specifically in SharePoint, a little more accessible. And the one way I started with was creating high contrast themes. And what that means is creating themes that are using colors that meet a certain standard of contrast here. In this particular example, we've created a theme. It's using purple. It's using colors that on the surface look okay. They look good. But in the brand center, we can go through and it's telling us that there is not enough contrast, that are the colors we pick require more contrast for them to be readable and understandable by our visitors. So these are signals that we need to pay attention to when we're creating themes, choosing colors for our SharePoint themes, or even when we're building pages in SharePoint. We want to consider those and take them into account that way. As well, we also want to think about different color blindness scenarios. In this case, there's a great tool online. Once we've created our theme and we've met those contrast variances, we can test how they look across for different end users, all the way from someone who's colorblind and they can't distinguish between two different colors like green and red, all the way to someone with cataracts and low vision. You can see here this example where it's quite blurry. So there are tools out there and available for us to use and measure how good our designs and our SharePoint intranets are working for those different users. So that was just a brief taste of some of the things that we talked about at the Microsoft 365 Community Conference. I had a blast going through it, sharing some of those key insights that we're seeing. And we also have additional resources on our website that go a little deeper into what makes digital workplaces more accessible. So thanks again for your time. Have a great day.